Hell yeah, we're live. We're trying some new thing. We're trying to get real technical. We're trying to really bring in the production value.
No, we're doing it.
How are we doing, Royster?
I'm good. I've got this ring light in a weird place. I look kind of spooky. It's a very dreary day here in Austin, Texas. So it feels like this is appropriate. It feels like we're gathered around a campfire to talk about some news.
Yeah, we really are doing it. We're really doing it. Each week we're doing it. We're really
get better every week.
Every 1% every week. 1%. Welcome to Loser Leaves Wrestling. Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the weekly wrestle. I want to come. We have to get that psychotic on the news, like for the weekly wrestle
next week.
Hey, thank you all so much for joining us. Hop in, give us some questions. Want what we really want on the weekly wrestle? If you really want me to be honest here, and I think you do, right?
I do, big time.
Yeah,
always.
We want you to give us your questions. Give us questions that you have, and we're going to answer them right here, live,
unfiltered, uncensored.
Ew. Gross. Welcome to the weekly wrestle. My name is Red Jefferson. I'm here with Roy Lazowitz. He's still recovering from that booster, huh?
I got that big booster shot. Yeah, I was real woozy, really out of it. And now allergies are kicking up. It's tough sometimes to, when the seasons change in Texas, allergies get heavy.
Yeah. The allergies get bad. Cedar fever. Ever heard of it?
Baby. Ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. It really fucked me up real bad one time. I remember how bad it is. Honey, you have to get that local honey.
Yeah,
you get that local honey or immunize yourself. But don't have too much at once. Don't just take spoonfuls. Gets real sick.
Yeah. Our old pal Alex would get really bad allergies and refuse to take anything or do anything about it. And he would say, "I'm fine," and then he would sneeze uncontrollably for 3 minutes. And that's what I think of.
Well, he'd be canceled in today's society if he starts sneezing like that. Welcome to the show. We're gonna talk about AEW Rampage. And then we're going to get to the news, and then we're just going to have some fun. We're going to have some tweets for you. We're going to.
I got 2 tweets this week.
We got double the tweets that we usually have. This is amazing. Want to start off with Rampage?
Let's do it.
I'm going to need you to cue some of these.
I got it.
Pictures.
Yeah.
But let's start off hot with. It started off the night with Cole and Fish. Adam Cole and what's his name? Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish. Tam, you can go to that first picture.
Yeah, first picture, Ted. Bobby Fish versus Orange Cassidy. What?
Don't worry about it. You have 2 shows that you do with 2 techs, and they both with names that start with T.
Oh, I've never talked to Tam about this. I have another show I do, and the tech for that show is Ted. Oh wow, did I just call you Ted, Tam?
Ted and Tam.
Man. Well, it's terrible. So that we start off the night with Cole and Fish versus Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. And it was a good match. It was a solid match. Nothing really to report here. They win with Bobby Fish hitting the Avalanche Falcon Arrow on
Tim, you can
Wheeler
skip to
Yuta.
the next photo, which is the finish. I tried to get this as it was happening. How do you feel, since we're talking about it, before we jump to the conclusion here, how do you feel about Orange Cassidy and tag team matches?
I don't like it. I actually wrote down some of the notes I have here. First, what are your thoughts? Well, you asked me that question, so I'll answer.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy needs a makeover. Orange Cassidy needs to add something up. And that's a pretty good action shot, Royster. That is a pretty good action shot. But he needs something to change it up. Like the gimmick is fun, and it's sometimes fun to see him interact with people like Adam Cole, to see them both do their signature crowd maneuvers, like it's kind of fun to see their taunts back and forth, but it's really grown stale, right?
I don't know if it's grown stale as much as, and I feel like a broken record when I say this, because I say it every time. He needs a good opponent. His act isn't necessarily stale if he's in the right situation, and he did some fun things, I guess, but like, I want to see him against Ricky Starks. I want to see him against someone who's athletic and a heel, like someone who he can really annoy very easily. Like Matt Hardy doesn't do it for me. Him in tag matches, that doesn't do it for me. He just needs the right opponent, and it hasn't been happening in a very long time.
I feel like I feel like that's the issue. He needs someone else to make it good and watchable, and then that's no longer effective. Like he needs to be able to stand alone, and like his character is something that is supposed to be used in small bits, and it works really great on the indie scene when you see it once a month, but like here we're seeing it every week. He needs a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah,
Fresh paint of
I
coat.
think that's a good point too, because he was really special when the company first started because he wasn't around a lot. He wasn't used often. He never talked. He never really wrestled until his first real match was 6 months, 9 months, maybe 6 months into the company's existence. Like, because really you think AEW started at the beginning of 2009, but doesn't really start until they get television, like until Dynamite starts. And from the time that Dynamite started, he didn't wrestle his first match until February of the following year when he fought Pac, and the crowd went insane for it because they hadn't seen him wrestle like this. And he was fighting a guy like Pac. It was perfect. But yeah, I think once the Chris Jericho feud started, he started feeling a little overexposed.
Yeah. Joe Redlitz writes in, hi, Joe. Welcome to the show. Cassie's gimmick is good in very small doses. He randomly goes from not caring slow style to rapid movements in seconds unprompted. Plus, why was he smiling so much during the match? Oh, I was thinking that too. He shouldn't smile. Why is he smiling? When he did that thing where he goes in front of them and gives a lazy thumbs up, and he smiled real big. I'm like, that's not your character.
That is weird.
I just want some consistency. Also, a fun thing here. Well, not fun. Wheeler Yuta has Alan Angel's energy. Like, I feel like Wheeler Yuta is just like kind of there, good wrestler, but I really don't buy into it.
Yeah, it feels like he's really kind of a stopgap until Trent comes back. And he's like a guy who can take the pin. Everybody needs a guy who can take the pin. So it's going to be Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, unfortunately. And another note in here, Taz called Yuta's testicles yam bags.
I love yam bags.
Right, the yam bags.
I think it's so funny.
Taz honestly has some of the best little isms. I'm really happy. They're so dumb in New York. They're right, the yam bags. It never goes right. The bag yams. A lot of fun there. A lot of fun.
And then
so,
Tab, you can go
any
to the
other
next
comments?
photo,
Next photo
as well, because it's just going to be them celebrating their big victory.
Oh, excellent!
But that move is really impressive. The Bobby Fish. Falcon Hour off the top rope. Very cool.
Yeah, very good. Honestly, like I'm not a big fan of having a top rope finish or a springboard finish or things of that nature because of how long it takes to set up and the likelihood of being it. But if Bobby Fish uses this as one of his signatures, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I like that. And he does it well. He does it really well. That was a really beautiful looking maneuver. Great job. And then we have them celebrating Undisputed Era. I can't wait for this to progress.
Almost.
We're almost there. Moving on, we get Tony Schiavone with Tony Nese. Next picture.
Yep.
Yeah. We get Tony Schiavone with Tony Nese. Tony Nese, he says, there's no mystery to Tony. No mystery to me. He sounds like such a weenie.
Yeah, I think we should take a second, though. I'm sorry, Red.
Give me seconds.
I think we should take a second to appreciate the idea or the intention behind not so much what Tony Nese is saying, but the AEW plan here of like, oh, here's a new wrestler who's going to have his first match on television against Sammy Guevara, just like everybody else who has done this, a Bobby Fish, a Jay Lethal, etc.
Sure.
But he's smart because he's an athlete. He's a thinker. That's why he's sitting in the crowd. That's why he's been there. He's been studying. That's smart, but I don't really want
Drew Gulag's gimmick.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Absolutely. And I wish this was Drew Gulak.
This should be Drew Gulak. Good. Oh man. Is he still
know about Drew Gulak's thing? Do you know what happened with him? Did you hear about this? His contract expired in 2020, like during the pandemic. His contract expired. And they didn't offer him a new contract. And he was a free agent for like 2 days. And then the WWE offered a contract, promised him things. He accepted it. And now here we are. He hasn't been seen on television since. Yeah. He runs around for the 24/7 title or the hard, whatever it's called.
What a shame, because honestly, this is his spot.
Yeah.
Like he's a thinker, and his PowerPoints would go over huge. I love Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak is really good. And Tony Nese is so vanilla. He is the most vanilla wrestler. He says he loves to scout. I wrote, these are the sound bites I wrote. No mystery to Tony. Loves to scout. Sammy yells a bunch. Tony forearms him. Like, that's it. Then Sammy comes out.
Yeah, so you can go to the next slide, Tam, because that's when things start to get hot.
Things start to get slicey. Joe Redlitz writes, and also doesn't in reference to Orange Cassidy, and also doesn't the not caring person kind of imply that wrestling is a joke. If he can outsmart opponents without caring, is any opponent worth a damn? The more I think about it, the more the gimmick undermines wrestling as a whole. Okay, Jim Cornette.
Well, that's the thing. That's why so many people hate it, because it does actively undermine wrestling.
I'm kind of like I think there's a space for playing with the tropes of wrestling. There's a space for it. I think that it should be all the time. Overdoing it is a problem, I think. And honestly, he shouldn't be a champion. He should be a special attraction that has special attraction matches. Like not like Big Show, but like I'm trying to think of a very quirky character that just comes in and has these. He's like the Harlem Globetrotters of wrestling. You should come in very seldom, come in, have this with one like overactive heel, like that guy from 2.0 or MJF early on. Like he comes in and makes a fool out of them. And maybe he gets to win, maybe they get the win, who knows, but it should happen once a quarter where he just wanders into a thing. And then he has that. Then this gimmick would work, you know?
Yeah, I agree. That's interesting. There's got to be somebody out there that nothing comes to mind right now, but I'm going to be thinking about that. A wrestler similar to what Orange Cassidy's role should be.
But it's a Harlem Globetrotters. I think that's what it should be in my brain. Then we get out of there.
So then Sammy but we should mention that Tony Nese, he's the thinking man's wrestler. He's a studier. He's an athlete.
Oof.
So what does he do? He attacks Sammy Guevara's ribs to end the segment.
He did attack his ribs. And I like the kneeling thing. It's just like he just sounds like an idiot when he does it. Very good. Oh, you got a great action shot there. It just looks like
just real quick. I don't know if you're able to see it. We're going behind the scenes real quick, but I'm going to cue the photos in the chat for Tam. So we're not going to say like next photo.
That's really good. Look at us.
We're going to give it a shot.
We're getting better each time. 1% each time. And everyone sound off for Tam. Let Tam give Tam the thanks. Joe writes, love the Harlem Globetrotter reference. That would be perfect. Exactly. Like the Harlem Globetrotters don't take away from the NBA or basketball in general because they're a special attraction.
It's
meant to be a special attraction.
Yeah.
But let's move on. We're going to hit Rio versus Brit Baker.
Well, I think also before we do that, potentially, do we get I don't remember the order anymore. We'll find out when we see the next photo. But did we get the FTR video package first? I thought this was important.
Was it a video package or was it just a recap?
It was a recap / video package / them laying down a challenge for the Lucha Brothers.
This.
Yeah.
So what happened? Explain.
They cut this promo and they're very good. The promo is very good, and it's mixed in with footage of the match that they had last Wednesday. And they basically say like, you've beaten us once, but when you beat us, it was the illegal man that you pinned, calling back to that weird botched finish. I thought it was botched. Maybe it wasn't at the pay-per-view. And then they said, we're wrestlers or whatever. I don't remember their exact words, but they basically said, 2 out of 3 falls. Let's go, you and I. So next, this is what's weird. And we'll talk about this a little bit, but like, seems like it's hot shot a little bit. It's going to be on Rampage next week. 2 out of 3 falls, Lucha Brothers versus FTR. Seems a little hot shot. You could have waited a couple of weeks. And I guess it's for the titles again. They didn't make that clear either. It should be for the titles and FTR should win, but that's just me. No,
I get that. And I feel like I would say that most any other time, but I'm starting to kind of dig this rapid fire booking. Like, and every match is like that. It's not a single feud that's really saved. As soon as they mention 100%. It, as soon as it's mentioned on TV, it's happening next week or within the next 2 weeks.
I think, MJF CM Punk is going to happen in 2 weeks. I think it's going to happen on Long Island when they're in his MJF's hometown. He's going to get cheered.
And honestly, he won't get cheered.
I think he'll get cheered.
You think he's going to get cheered?
I think because the only time he's ever said anything positive about anything ever has been about Long Island. And I think he's going to get cheered.
God, that's why he's so gross. He likes Long Island. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, well, let's see how it goes. But for the most part, I'm pretty into it. But next up, we got Rio versus Brit Baker in a Black Friday deal. We forgot to wish everyone a happy Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, happy small. It's
happy small.
It's an important holiday for the both of us.
It is an important holiday. By the way, Joe writes, FTR made a lot of sense in their promo. Love when there's truth in a heel stance or persona.
Hell yeah.
100%. We really dig that. And I think the FTR is really great on the mic right now.
Ooh.
I like Tully as a presentation or a presentational purpose, but like they are fine on their own. I don't think Tully should ever take the mic.
And I think that's what made the Four Horsemen in the 80s so powerful, is that JJ was good on the mic, but like give the mic to Tully, give the mic to Rick, give the mic to Aaron. Like everybody could talk.
And JJ was fine on the mic.
He was fine.
Liked him.
He was fine. He was a good complimentary piece. Tully would lead the conversation, and then JJ would be like, "That's because we're the Four Horsemen." Woo, and that would be
he gave that stupid thing, and he's literally making no sense because you're saying we and saying four, and there's 5 of you. You silly goof. You should say they're the Four Horsemen. You say we. That's just ridiculous. Okay, we get Rio versus Brit Baker in a Black Friday deal match. If Rio wins, she gets a title shot, a future title opportunity. And I have to say, I don't like Rio.
Really?
Yeah. This match really solidified it for me. The size difference is there, but like I could get over the size difference if she was fast. She's kind of slow. She's kind of slow and lumbering. It's like Eddie Kingston's out there. Like she's just kind of plodding around. Like she needs to be faster. If you're that small, like I love when a wrestler is able to, overcome the odds or use their body to like kind of give themselves an advantage, like Ray or Leo. They're able to do that. And now it's no longer an uneven matchup. They just have a 10 in speed, but she's just slow. Kind of flails around like olive oil. She's just kind of a cartoon character, and the size difference is harsh.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's hard when she's fighting someone who's significantly bigger than her, like a Nyla Rose, like their early matches. I can kind of get into it, like more of a David versus Goliath thing. But when you just wrestle like someone like Brit Baker, who is just the size of like a wrestler, it's harder to, I don't know. There's something when the size difference isn't as pronounced, and that's not the story being told throughout the match. It just kind of feels, I understand.
It's just not a thing I enjoyed. We also get Joe writing. Also, how do you guys feel about the commentators immediately jumping to the next segment after the Rio one? God, it really seemed like no one cares about women's wrestling in AEW. She beat the champion. Honestly, it's something that I've almost become desensitized to with AEW. Like they move on so quickly. They just don't. And he wrote, make it a big deal. Sorry, after Rio won, autocorrect sucks. Very good, Joe. Thank you so much. But they should make it a big deal. Even though I'm not a Rio fan. What were your thoughts on these things?
Yeah, I don't think that's a women's wrestling thing, to be fair. I think that's just a straight AEW thing. I think they always jump immediately to the next thing and never let any moment breathe ever. I mean, look at Kazarian and Daniels when they got broken up and Daniels was bleeding all over the place and they hugged and their team broke up and they were never going to team again. They cut to commercial. They didn't even let the hug happen. That wasn't even on television. Like they don't let any moment breathe ever.
That is a single moment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Rio?
She's fine. I liked her more when the women's division was smaller and there were less women that I wanted to see on television because there were less options, I guess. You know what I mean? Like Riho was like such an integral part of the division in the beginning. And then she went back to Japan for a while. And when she went back to Japan, Statlander came in and, all of these, and Ryo Mizunami and, Shida got a lot more run and all these other people. Once the division grew, I stopped caring about Riho as much, essentially.
Rio, I was
going to say too, my big takeaway from this match is that you're in Chicago and it's like your hottest market. I feel like Brit Baker got a good reaction, but didn't get the reaction she used to get. I feel like her reactions are starting to get a little quieter.
Honestly, I feel like her staying heel nuked the character. Because she's they wanted to cheer her, they wanted to like her, but her unwillingness to do so made them just stop caring. I've definitely noticed the past few weeks because she hasn't really said anything of interest and she hasn't really done anything of interest since she's won the championship. She's kind of just she has a segment each show, but they're not giving her any time. They're not giving her anything interesting to do. There's no reason. The reason people like her is because she says pretty cool shit on the mic,
Well, it seems like CM Punk has done more for her popularity in the last month than AEW has. Yeah. Because he's mentioned her in promos and that he's doing more for her than they're allowing her to do for herself. And it's a drag. She should turn face. I think Jamie Hayter should turn on her, and so should Rebel. And then she's on her own. And then she could build that momentum back up.
Perfect opportunity to be a face. They had such a golden opportunity. They just nuked it. But this is the end of the match. Rio gets a sneaky pin, so she's going to get a match against Brit Baker down the line. Again, I wasn't a big fan of this match, so I'm not excited for the next one. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Joe writes, AEW needs light opponents for Baker. Can't care about her heel without a credible opponent. Would be the same if she was a face. That's true. Also, the opponents they've given her have been lukewarm. They've all been lukewarm, and people were cheering Brit, but they were pushed to cheer the other person, like Ruby Soho, lukewarm. Who else was there? They're all lukewarm.
The thing is, Ruby came in hot, but where has she been? And now she's fighting a baby face, like another a person that people want to cheer for but aren't invested in because she never gets any TV time. And Chris Statlander. Yeah. So they also, killed any momentum that Ruby Soho had. So where are we? What's happening?
Where are we, TK? Jesus Christ. We have to talk to someone. We have to get in big. TK, if you could send us your phone number so we can send you some texts, some ideas. We got to get in touch. We got some things to talk about. Moving on, we get the main event. We get Mark Henry talking to 2.0.
I took a screenshot of that.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
It's going to pop up in a second.
We get Mark Henry. These segments are great, and we say it every week, but I just kind of want them. I want them for each segment. I want them for each match.
Yeah, I think in this segment, Eddie said the greatest thing any wrestler has ever said to his opponent.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before you say that, I hated it.
Why?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Say it.
When he said, "You're too light in the ass to mess with me."
Oh, no, I like that. Okay, scratch that. I like that. That's very funny.
That.
You're too light in the ass to mess with me. But then he went on to say, "Talk is cheap, partner."
He says partner. Right. That's his thing. He's from Yonkers.
I hate it.
They say partner.
They don't say that. No one says that. He saw that on TV and he started saying it. No one says partner.
I think people say partner. Do you remember? Never mind.
Joe writes, Ruby is song, nothing more. Sorry. Joe's got it. Joe has his finger on the pulse.
Joe, you better be here.
He feels a flat line when after the music plays.
This coming Wednesday, you better be here for the woo-woos and what? The AEW Dynamite. Because let me tell you, Ruby Soho is going to make an ass out of everybody because her and Chris Statlander are going to burn the house down. It's going to make an ass
out of everyone. Oh, wait. Excellent. Okay. Well, let's we have this segment and then it's time for the main event, and we get the next match, which is Eddie Kingston versus Danny Garcia, going on 20 minutes, a 20-minute match. And a lot of Eddie just looked in pain throughout the rest of the whole match. I'm sure that was part of the story, but honestly, I didn't really buy that. I thought he was really in pain. What are your thoughts?
I thought this match was awesome. I thought this
was pretty cool.
Excellent. I thought this was maybe Daniel Garcia's best match. This is definitely the match on TV where he's gotten the most. Mm-hmm. Like, you've really got to see him. He beat the shit out of Eddie. They were really slapping each other hard. They were hitting each other very hard. And Eddie definitely looked to be in pain. And Eddie's the type of guy where you're like, yeah, you probably are in pain, but also you're really good at selling. Like, he's both. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, he is. When he did that, very good facial expressions.
Yeah.
He moves like he's in pain always, so I believe him. And also just something about Eddie Kingston. He really reminds me of Roddy Piper. He really reminds me of Roddy Piper more so than anyone else. And people have thrown that around a lot. But in terms of like wrestling ability and promo ability, great promo. Well, no, not even great promo, great energy. Sometimes great promos, sometimes weird promos, just like Roddy. Sometimes great matches with the right opponent. Sometimes just real awkward matches because you don't move very well. Like, it's very Roddy Piper-esque.
Yeah, except Roddy Piper didn't have the ability to have a good match after 1985. He had one good match in the 90s. Yeah, exactly. One good match.
Ever in the heard 1990s. Of the Bret Hart match?
Yeah, we as a unit, you and I and Chico Marks, sat all separately and watched Roddy Piper versus Hulk Hogan in 1997. So we know.
We did watch that. It was pretty rough. It's pretty terrible. And bless Chico Marks, we went to PWG this past weekend and we saw Danny Garcia. We saw Danny Garcia versus
Impressive Live, Jonathan Grisham, right?
Jonathan Grisham's dope.
Yeah, really.
That little pit bull, Jesus Christ, he's so small and stacked.
Yeah.
Like his traps are up to his ears.
He's like a Ring of Honor staple, and now that Ring of Honor is whatever, he's actually going to run his own show in January called like Grapple Dome or something. It's going to be like hard hitting grappling wrestling.
Love it. That's my style. That's what I like. Man, was this good. And also Eddie Kingston gives me hope that I could still be a wrestler one day, because I think I'd be in just as much pain as him, and he could go. And he also doesn't do anything that I could not do. Like I could do every single one of those things. Yeah. Even like him like moving, like sometimes he just kind of stumbles and fucks up, like he walks weird.
Yeah, which is great.
I can do that.
I mean, because it's all about your fit. Like he's proof. You know, everyone talks about AEW, all the flying and blah blah blah. He just tells a good story with his face and with his like his limited move set and how he sells. The crowd fucking goes crazy for this guy. I go crazy for this guy. And here's the finish.
We all go crazy.
Hits him with that back fist and just collapses on him. Look at his face in this screenshot. Look at his face.
Incredible. He's in pain. It's really good. Oh, great job with posting these pics. Great job, Tam and Roy. This is great communication. Joe writes, I'm not saying that Ruby isn't a good wrestler. Back to Ruby. I'm not saying that Ruby isn't a good wrestler. I'm just saying that she doesn't have the crowd behind her except for song. What is her character or motivations? AEW isn't making me or anyone else want to care. And that's damn true. That's damn true. They do not like it. There's not the motivation that they have with other people. And she is a good wrestler. She has been, she just hasn't shown it yet in AEW. There's been no a push behind her character. And also the opponents that she's had have not been top caliber. Excited for Chris Statlander. Excited for that.
Well, we'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after this match, we get a 2.0 beatdown. They start beating down on Eddie Kingston. And then Chris Jericho makes the save. He makes the save, and he gives these terrible looking punches, and then a terrible looking clothesline to knock out.
It was really terrible.
It was really terrible. Really
Him getting up from the desk.
I hope you got a really embarrassing photo.
There's a good one that I actually really like. Look at his face. Look at 2.0.
I can't wait.
I like this screenshot I took. I really like because it's 2.0 doing their absolute best to make him look good. Like he takes that sickening like shoulder neck bump on the apron. Yikes.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet. This isn't the tweet of the week, but I saw a tweet from this guy who's generally pretty negative about wrestling. And he called Chris Jericho a leech, which I think is aggressive, but it's like hard to deny it a little bit in a way. You know, between Orange Cassidy was hot and then Chris Jericho worked with him. And then MJF was hot, and now Chris Jericho's, worked with him for like 18 months. And then this American Top Team thing, that's kind of whatever. And now, like, I guess him and Eddie Kingston are going to do something because Eddie Kingston's hot. I don't know. It's like weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely see that. That makes a lot of sense. I thought you were saying that he was leeching off 2.0. This is the type of team that Jericho should be working with. Jericho should be working with 2.0 because they're like he could teach them something. Do I think he should be working with Orange Cassidy? No, I feel like their styles completely clash. MJF was already beyond Jericho when they started. Yeah. Like this is something he should be doing. Joe writes, why did Jericho run out? It screams, I just want the spotlight. You're damn right, Joe. You're damn right, Joe.
Exactly. They 2.0 interrupted both Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho's promos.
That's what happened. This past Dynamite, he interrupted, and Jericho's just like, well, if you interrupt me, he spilled coffee on Kane one time, and he realizes that's a young person. Do you remember when he spilled coffee on Kane? And that's the start of that feud.
I'm Kane. I thought you said Canyon. I was like, Chris Canyon?
Canyon. Very good. Well, that's the end of the show. That's the end of not this show.
The end of Rampage.
But we have Rampage, AW Rampage. We have something for you, a little treat. It's something called The News You Can't Lose. And it's from November 21st to November 27th, which is today. Small Business Saturday. And we should talk about some things. We have some things to discuss. And should I pause for a second? Should I
keep going.
Stall? Should I stall or should I go into the news?
Go into the news. News.
Okay, hell yeah. We're doing great here. This is some effective communication. Excellent. We start off with Seth Rollins. The top story of the night, Seth Rollins has been attacked. Seth Rollins has been attacked on stage. Seth Rollins was leaving a match. I'm not sure which one because I don't watch Raw. And then a fan comes running out. This chubby little 24-year-old, his name is Elijah Spencer. 24 years old. He's charged with attempted assault, and he smashes into him, just grabs him and just like tackle, like pretty effective tackle.
He crushed him. Yeah, he wasn't paying attention. Like Seth was not paying attention. He rushed him, and he probably weighs close to what Seth weighs, if not more.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And he was running full speed.
Full speed, smacked him. And then the security and the ref got him off. The ref was totally ineffective. The ref had no idea what to do. He's just like holding his back. Look at the picture. He's just holding his back like, hey.
I would give him a wedgie.
Yeah, there's a prime opportunity to wedgie this guy. And Chavo Guerrero thinks that Seth's a little shit. He can't. Back in my day, the wrestlers were tougher than the fans. Like, get Chavo, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Get GTS. Like, I feel like, and then Jim Cornette responded, and he's just like, ease off, Chavo. Jim Cornette came to the rescue. It's just like he was blindsided. Yeah. And that's when you know that someone's wrong, is when even Jim Cornette's just like, whoa.
Yeah. What do you if that guy ran full speed at Chavo in 1998, he would have like given Chavo whiplash. Like
if he ran into Chavo in 2002, Chavo would have gotten a concussion or two. Chavo loves his concussions, loves them, but mostly because Billy Kidman's a good friend that loves to give them. Do you remember when Billy Kidman kept giving Chavo a concussion after concussion? I think it was like two.
In WWE, right?
Yeah, shooting star press right to the knee to the head.
That guy, even as an 8-year-old watching him wrestle Kidman, I was like, that move doesn't look safe. And I always thought that it was him. Yeah, I always thought it was the move. And then I saw another wrestler do it, and I was like, oh, it's just Kidman.
It's just Billy Kidman. That's very funny. So we get that, and we wish feel bad for Seth Rollins. He said it was pretty terrifying, which I get that. Because you don't know what they could do. He could have had a knife. You know?
He gets a bad rap, that Seth Rollins, because he has to be like a champion of the company. I went to the next photo. I'm sorry, I jumped.
No, keep it there.
I think he's the one who has to be. He doesn't have the cool and the icy coldness of Roman Reigns, but he still has to like be for the company, and he's had to do a lot of really stupid things to just like for his job. Mm-hmm. So he kind of gets a bad rap sometimes, and the fact that his wife is like just a better like overall like personality and
star.
She connects with the fans better. Yeah, just like a bigger star.
Yeah.
Just a much, much bigger star. And it wasn't always that way when they first started dating. So he saw the rise. He saw her skyrocket past her.
And his fall. His tragic fall.
Yeah, his
tragic fall.
Including involving a big mallet, a red Hell in a Cell match, and The Fiend.
Oh, I forgot about that. It's pretty dumb. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let's all watch that. That's our homework for the week. No, it's not. Next up, we get Kenny Omega has to vacate the AAA title. Kenny Omega, due to injuries and such, and he's trying to take some time off. He's vacating the AAA title, and now there's going to be a match with what's their face, Hijo de Vikingo. Vikingo versus Samurai de Sol, Kalisto, Mr. I don't know how tag matches work, and I was working in WWE forever. What are your thoughts on this? How are you feeling about Kenny dropping that title?
I think it's good. I think it's important. I mean, when you hear like he's got a bum knee, he's got a sports hernia, he's got a bad neck, he's got a bad shoulder, like, and this, I don't know if you've ever seen any highlights. I've never seen a full match of Vikingo, but I've seen some highlights. Homeboy is wild. A lot of flips, a lot of crazy spots, a lot of dangerous things. It's best that Kenny just stays away from that. And it's also like props to AAA, because I don't know, this is what I want to talk about. Have you seen the full list of what that match is going to be?
No.
It's Vikingo versus Samurai del Sol versus Bobby Fish versus Jay Lethal versus Bandito. It's a 5-way. So they're like, well, we need to replace Kenny Omega with something, so let's just put 4 guys in there. Mm-hmm. And they're all really talented, and it's going to be like a balls to the wall crazy match. And I think it's good. I think it's good. That's good. It's good to see companies work together.
That is
the benefit
nice.
of the fans.
I saw Bandito at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. He's the PWG champion
best.
versus Alex Shelley.
How was that?
Alex Shelley is awesome. Alex Shelley is so good. Amazing heel. Bandito, he's fine.
Yeah. Alex Shelley, a full-time physical therapist.
Oh, he's staying in pretty good shape. He's pretty good shape. Good job, Alex Shelley. But moving on, we're going to hit the next stuff. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, both works. Both work.
Okay,
whatever you want.
We get Jake Hager. Jake Hager, ever heard of him? he's potentially going to face John Jones in a UFC fight. The reason I say this is John Jones is apparently a pretty good UFC fighter, and he was undefeated if he did get kicked out of UFC for, I think, drugs.
Yeah, I feel like he's had a lot of off the field issues, if you will.
But people have said that he's like one of the best ever. And to face Jake Hager, who's undefeated and such, which is he's just going to get demolished. Jake Hager is going to get messed up, and demolished. I'm very excited to see this Okie son of B to go to sleep. I keep saying go to sleep, but I like it. I think it's
Are
fun.
you if you're Tony Khan and you know that he's going to get crushed, do you like have Chris Jericho walk him to ringside and like make a big spectacle out of it, even though he's going to get crushed? Because any publicity is good publicity.
I feel like Tony Khan has very little say in that. I feel like Jericho's just going to do it if he wants to. And I don't, like, I think that's just
he
one
has
of those
like
things.
AEW on his trunks and stuff. Like,
yeah. I think he's going to go. This is publicity. So even him getting smashed by John Jones, it's still a pretty big deal. And he's going to get smashed. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm actually going to see this fight.
I would be happy to see it. Yeah.
Next up, we got some news here. Austin Gunn is in some hot water. Austin Gunn, poor, sweet, dumb Austin Gunn.
Yeah.
He was dumber when he was younger, believe it or not. And he made some tweets using some slurs. And he's apologizing big time for him. He's being very authentically apologetic. And the the slurs that he used, let me just put in context, not to excuse it, but it was not in the same manner that we're like he wasn't saying, and he's using it in he watches rap and he's repeating things he sees in rap, and that's not what you should be doing, Austin Gunn.
Yeah, it was more out of ignorance rather than like
grave ignorance rather than malice.
Yes.
And so the thing, and he apologized greatly when they came up. He was 17 years old, and he's just a dumb little boy.
He's a big dum-dum. Like,
he's a big dum-dum.
To this day, he's a big dum-dum.
and he's apologizing profusely for it. He's very upset about it. And I believe that, there can be, he's already said like he's going to sensitive. He's being proactive about his apology. Great. And he's doing sensitivity classes. He's going to do more. He's very pro into that. So hopefully, this doesn't sting him too much, because you have to. If you're looking for forgiveness, we should be able to forgive.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, let's keep in mind that his father did blackface on national television in 1998. So
that's not good. What's that gonna do? Let's not.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, the world forgave Billy Gunn for his Godfather impression.
Which one was Billy Gunn?
He was Godfather.
Yikes!
He was Godfather. X-Pac was Mark Henry.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah. That was rough. The only one that got away with was Owen Hart, who played Owen Hart.
Jason Sensation.
Boy, let's get out of here.
Poor Jason Sensation. That's a sad story that we don't have to talk about right now.
We'll suggest it to Dark Side of the Ring.
Sad story.
Next up, JR. Jim Ross, our friend Jim Ross, AEW announcer, lead play-by-play guy, is going to be taking cancer treatment, and he's going to be out until the end of December. And we wish him the best. We love JR.
Absolutely. We
don't always love his decisions on commentary, but I think he's a good guy deep down.
Yeah, absolutely. A good guy. He's had a very prosperous life, up until this point, but also very difficult, like his jobs throughout his career, like being the in charge of all the talent in the WWE throughout like the Attitude Era into like the early part of the 2000s. He's responsible for, the biggest boom in the history of the WWE. And it must have been really difficult. Must have been really hard.
And not just that, the strife of being fired several times, Bell's palsy, his wife passing just a few years ago from a car accident.
Because indestructible.
So we hope we wish him the best. And he's on the Mount Rushmore. Let's do a Mount Rushmore 100%. Play-by-plays. Who's your Mount Rushmore?
This is tough for me. Because everyone will say like Gordon Soley and all of these. I'm not. That's
yours.
Not really
I want yours.
My bag. Jim Ross. Play-by-play, strictly.
Yeah, just play-by-play.
And is it 3 or 4? It's 4, right?
What? 4. Yeah, 4.
4.
Jeez.
I'm just making sure. I've been there, just for the record. I don't remember it.
Cool.
Jim Ross for sure. I mean, Excalibur's on that list. Excalibur's there for sure. I grew up on Tony Schiavone even more than Jim Ross, so Tony Schiavone. And if Michael Cole, he's not my 4. But if he had stopped commentating in 2005, he would be my 4th. But I don't even know if I have a 4th. I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, maybe Joey Styles, but like growing up, I loved Joey Styles, but going back and watching ECW now, he's terrible.
No, he was a hard job to do so.
It was a really hard job. It was absolutely a hard job.
So he's on mine. So okay. I have Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Joey Styles. Now here's some tricky ones.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Okay.
Vince McMahon is a great play-by-play. He's a great play-by-play.
The only thing he does that bothers me is he would go 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope, 2. That was a 2.
No, I love that. It's his signature. And number 4, Mauro Ranallo.
Good point.
He's pretty great. In such a short term, he became my favorite play-by-play.
I think a lot of people would say Kevin Kelly. And I'm not a huge Kevin Kelly guy.
I'm not. I feel Kevin Kelly and Excalibur in the same boat to me.
You didn't like Michael Cole circa early 2000 SmackDown? Michael Cole and Taz? Great.
No, that was great. That was great. But Joe writes Bobby Heenan and Vince was great on commentary. Bobby Heenan's color. Color is a different discussion, and we'll save our Rushmore picks for color at another time when Jerry Lawler's about to die or something.
He doesn't make my Mount Rushmore, for the record. He doesn't make.
I don't think he. But we'll have to discuss.
You know who is? You know who could be my 4th over Joey Styles? Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon. I like the dynamic with Gorilla and Bobby and Gorilla with Jesse, but Gorilla sucked. He was absolutely bad, and he'd weirdly give away things. He'd be like, "I don't think he's gonna win the match," and guess what? He did. Like I feel like he knew the card and just said things to be like, "See, I know more." I think he went into business for himself, but as he should. The business was different.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got. There's a new Hall of Fame in town, kids. Watch out. It's the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And we have some people that they're inducting. Want to hear them
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. I'm so excited to talk about this.
I'm bringing it up for one of them. Just one.
3 of the 4 are very important. I don't know, but whatever.
I don't even know the 4th. Let's see what we got. Jerry Lynn is the one that I care about. Jerry Lynn is being inducted into Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, and he's being inducted by Sean Waltman. A great person to induct. Great.
Very cool. Very cool. I think this whole concept is very, very cool.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like a wrestling Hall of Fame should suffice for indie wrestling as well. And who does the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Who does that? PWI or whatever?
Cauliflower Alley Club. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that should be it. Do I think that Ruckus should be in a Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I don't know. Ruckus was a CZW guy, so I don't know about Ruckus.
That's why I questioned.
Jerry Lynn is like the perfect example of someone who should be in this, who deserves to be celebrated. And the only Hall of Fame that gets celebrated on any kind of major level right now is the WWE Hall of Fame. And Jerry Lynn he's not a Cauliflower Alley Club guy either. So this guy, Jerry Lynn specifically, wrestled for every indie promotion there was. He was, one of the first TNA X Division champions, which was essentially an indie at the time.
Yeah.
He was a Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. He and Sean Waltman, which is why it's so cool that Sean Waltman's being inducted, innovated independent wrestling with their style of wrestling. They did it. And he had a 6-month run in WCW and a 3 or 4 month run in the WWE.
Did he even have a WWE?
He won the light heavyweight title. And then got hurt,
didn't.
and they released him. Yeah, he beat Jeff Hardy for the heavyweight title. No.
But who? When?
Jerry Lynn in 2001. I think he beat Jeff Hardy. I swear. I'm telling you, he was light heavyweight champion.
I think you're wrong.
You want to bet?
You're wrong. Somebody's got to. Someone.
What part is wrong?
Research.
What part is wrong?
The Jerry Lynn was the champion.
Okay. Well, he was 100%
champion. Maybe he had a stint. I don't remember it at all.
Sure,
but
no one does.
Maybe he had a stint, but I do not think he was champion.
He was also a hidden character in the 3rd SmackDown game.
No.
Him and Fred Durst.
No, that was Tajiri. Tajiri Spike Dudley.
I'm telling you, it was Jerry Lynn.
We're gonna have to do some digging because this is so new to me. I remember Just Bring It, and that was the worst season mode of any
terrible.
WWE game.
That was just a bad game.
Bad game. But they had Spike Dudley, Fred Durst, Tajiri, and I don't remember Jerry Lynn, but we'll find out.
I also want to take a second to point out Dave Prazak. And I know you may not be familiar with Dave Prazak. He's also going into the Hall of Fame. Dave Prazak created a company called Shimmer 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And it's an all women's promotion that runs out of the Midwest. And it was really the first all women's independent promotion to gain steam. And he deserves a lot of recognition for that. And he was also very responsible in the early 2000s for putting together like promo, like highlight reels that wrestlers could send out to other promoters to get booked in other places. He was that guy. So he did it for Punk. He did it for Cabana. He did it for Hero. He did it for Claudio, Cesaro, did it for Kingston. Like he did it for all of these guys. And I think like that type of stuff that really kind of like kept the indie scene going and helped it grow. Like these people deserve to be recognized. Yeah. And it's very cool that he gets that recognition.
And also we got Homicide in there. Homicide's going to be inducted as well.
Yeah.
And Homicide. Yeah. So it's fun. We're excited. Yeah, good job. It's a good time. Next we got up Terry Funk. Terry Funk is good. That's the extent of it. Yeah, he's not as bad as we thought. He was 77 years old. He's in assisted living care, but his dementia is not as bad as people thought. And honestly, probably all these interviews that he's doing these days and interactions he's having because of it, it's probably sharpening up a little bit too. So everyone reach out to Terry Funk in some manner today. Let's that be our Thanksgiving.
I just saw your photo for Terry.
I started having fun with getting these photos. I think I'm going to keep doing that. Let's go to the next pick then. We'll just move on. This is a short piece of news here. We got Stephanie confirms daughter, 15 years old, is started training. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's daughter, 15-year-old, she started training. I don't know why I put this in the news, and I regret it. You have any thoughts on this before we move on to the next one?
I just saw a tweet from like an older indie wrestler who said, I bear witness to countless indie wrestler tryout matches being canceled because Stephanie and Triple H's kids wanted to play in the ring.
Love that.
in response to this.
That's very funny. I love that. Well, we wish her the best of luck in her future endeavors. We got, this is up, The Rock. The Rock, you ever heard of him? He has a new film, Burn Notice. And it's the highest grossing Netflix. It's Red Notice. Bird Notice is a show on USA. It's the highest gross, the most watched in Netflix history within 28 days. The reason I bring this up because it was all over WWE television the past week. On Survivor Series, we have 25 years of The Rock, 25-year celebration of The Rock, and he wasn't there. He wasn't there. 25 years of The Rock, and forgot to mention, Joe has a comment about the Hall of Fame. We'll mention in a sec. But 25 years of The Rock. They had a battle royale, no Rock there, and not only that, they have Cleopatra's Golden Egg, which is a reference to the movie, I guess. And Vince McMahon had it at the show. He's like, "Who stole my golden egg?" And it's a big mystery. We're gonna find out. We have to find out. Right,
I have breaking news. Tam.
Yeah.
Also watched this movie with The Rock, this Burn Notice movie. And I asked if it was good, and Tam said, yeah, it's good. Not so great, but good.
Tam, do you feel comfortable coming on and just giving us a quick review of what you thought of Red Notice? Yeah. Oh, they can't. So decent movie, kind of pointless at times, but it's you'd give it worth a watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard it from Tam. We're gonna have you review movies for us, Tam. Wrestling related movies,
even though they can't hear it.
Well, we paraphrase these.
Yeah, we paraphrase.
We're gonna have to get you on here, Tam. We're gonna have them hear your voice because I'm bad at paraphrasing. I am bad, as you can see from the news. Thank you so much, Tam. Yeah, we did let you know that this is going to happen. Bless you. Moving on. So we got could you go to the next picture there, Tam? Thank you so much, Tam. It's just a picture of Vince McMahon holding a golden egg. And that's that. Do you care about this? Do you think this is a good, effective way of promoting?
I think this is
when The Rock is even there?
Awful. It's the worst. Everything about this is terrible. Everything about how this was done was terrible. It's just poor taste. It's just complete lack of self-awareness. You fire a bunch of people, then you have everyone who isn't fired clapping for you as you get out of the fucking limo with a giant golden egg. Shut up. Next. Bye.
At least holding it. Do you see how powerful it is? This golden egg. Yeah. Hopefully nobody stole it. But then Joe writes, just in terms of the Hall of Fame, unless the general public can vote in people to a Hall of Fame, they are pointless, in my opinion. WWE is just a means to sell DVDs, merch, etc., based on what only one man likes. In other news, WWE now cares about women's matches. Triple H will squash Becky. Triple H's daughter will squash Becky and Charlotte in 3 months, guaranteed. Not until she's 18.
Yeah, right.
She's got 3 years to bulk up.
This used to be true. It's less true now, but like in defense of the WWE Hall of Fame, there were guys like a Brutus, like a Paul Orndorff. These guys kind of like, this allows them to get one more moment in the sun, and it kind of brings them some inner peace from what I've heard in interviews and stuff. So that's the one positive about it. But yes, I agree. There are people who probably deserve that moment in the sun that aren't getting it because, one person is making that decision. So,
yeah. Also, Joe writes, in terms of The Rock, it's their way of begging for The Rock to care about them. Sad. That's a Donald Trump tweet. That's like, sad. It's very funny. Very good tweet. And right now I have a picture of Cody Rhodes. It's the end of the news segment, but I wanted to show Cody Rhodes just to have a quick discussion because Cody Rhodes at the end of yesterday, the Dynamite, when he was walking up the ramp after the belt fiasco that we covered this past week on the woos and what's, the belt was thrown back in and it definitely affected him. And he walked up the ramp and he almost went into the heel tunnel. This is what was told. He was like thinking about it and he didn't. I think this is planned. I think he threw the belt knowing what was going to happen.
No, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great.
He made a big scene of it. When's the last time he has thrown the belt into the crowd before, but he hasn't done it in a while, honestly. And this was like he made a big thing of it in the match. Like, I almost feel like it was planned. This is planned.
That would be great. That would be great if it was. I would be.
Why don't what you do? Why don't how you set that up? You throw the belt into the crowd and get one plant in the crowd to be like, throw it back.
Yeah.
Throw it back. Done.
That's a big Chicago thing too. The throw it back chant is a big Chicago thing. Do you see Rookie of the Year?
No.
It's a kid's movie about
Rookie of the Year? What do you like?
Yeah. Remember he catches the baseball, like somebody hits a home run and they're like, throw it back. And then he throws it. That's in Chicago. It's Wrigley Field.
Oh, wow. I remember that movie and I thought it was pretty cool. I always wanted to break my arm.
Can I tell you something very dumb?
Yeah.
Very dumb. There's this, Daniel Stern is in that movie and he's like the weird pitching coach. And they go to like some type of like after game, like party and everybody's dressed really nicely. And there's these two like very attractive women standing there and they're looking at the kid and Daniel Stern. And he goes, "Excuse me, ladies, excuse me." And he pushes them aside because there's a pinball machine there. So when I'm walking around my apartment and my dog or Apollonia's dog is in my way, I go, "Excuse me, ladies, excuse me," to the dogs.
That's very funny. That's a very good bet. And the Trump, Joe writes, and Trump is in the Hall of Fame. Double sad. He is the greatest inductant in history, though. I don't know what that means. He is the greatest inducted in history. Yikes, Joe. You're going to get canceled.
Bob Uecker's in the Hall of Fame.
Jacob Mark says, "I always wanted to break my arm," in quotations, laugh, because I wanted to break my arm. Because I wanted to be like the guy. I wanted to have that good pitching. But do we think that Cody's going to be going heel? Is this a plan? Is this a thing?
He's fighting Andrade in a street fight in Atlanta this coming week. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see more Andrade. That's exciting to me. It's going to be fun. And it's Cody's hometown. So maybe he'll get cheered in his hometown. We'll find out.
Maybe so. We're gonna have to find out in his hometown.
Yep.
That's the end of the news, Royster. That's the
end
of the news.
I have a footnote One more piece
give me
of
some
news, a footnote. So GCW is running the Hammerstein Ballroom at the end of January.
Great
23rd.
promo for it.
Yeah. And they've officially sold it out. So congratulations to them. And
good job, GCW.
I thought this was a really interesting note. Not only did they sell it out, but the way they have the arena set up, they've allowed it for more seats than I don't know if it's ever been packed for, but they've allowed it for more seats than Ring of Honor ever did, the entire history of Ring of Honor. So they've outsold Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor ran that building for 10 years plus. And in their first ever show, normally it seats like 1,800, but they've packed out like over 2,000.
Wow.
So good for
GCW.
Amazing. I'm going to watch that show. Eddie Kingston's going to be on it. That's really exciting.
Very exciting. Have you ever been to Hammerstein?
Yeah. You know what's funny? The first ever wrestling show I went to, I was 24. I was just turned 24. My parents hated wrestling when I was a kid, so I never went to live wrestling. And it was a Ring of Honor show. It's the first ever show I went to.
Wow. Yeah. I went to a WWE ECW in 2006, 7,
That's
something
so
like
good.
that with my brothers. We all went, and it was a good night. We saw Balls Mahoney versus CM Punk. It was Balls Mahoney versus CM Punk. We saw no, we did not. The CM Punk faced, I think, Just Incredible, and Balls Mahoney faced Rene Dupree, the French Phenom. The French Phenom, Rene Dupree, and everyone was kind of into the match. And then the main event, Batista versus Big Show. And
that's where everybody went.
Lost their shit. They're chanting out like, "Get out of the ring! This isn't wrestling." And at the end of the night, some guys like a Big Show was walking around the ring, just like shaking people's hands or something, because everyone liked Big Show when the cameras are off. Like everyone's just like, "Oh, cool!" Like we just don't like you in the ring. And then like some guy just slapped Big Show on the back, and then Big Show grabbed his face and launched him into the crowd. Launched him back, which was way back, and it was pretty cool moment.
Were you and your brothers also chanting "This isn't wrestling"?
Yeah, I was chanting for the French Phenom a lot. I love the French Phenom, Rene Dupree. Joe writes, wasn't that CM Punk's debut? I think it was. I think that was CM Punk's first match against Just Incredible. And Joe writes, no, I think it was Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle? I don't know. Kurt Angle was there somewhere, but the main event was definitely Batista versus Big Show. But yes, very good stuff. Very excited for GCW. Very excited for that.
Yeah.
Any other news you got there, Royce?
That's it. Those are the big ones.
And then don't we have some tweets? I believe
I got 2 tweets. This week. It's a holiday week. It's Thanksgiving week, so I got 2 tweets. One related to the holidays. One not related to the holidays. So Tam, if you want to go to tweet one.
I hope it's not Austin Gunn's tweets.
No, it's not. It's good. It's better than that.
This
first tweet is just really important. It's very small to see. I don't know, but this was on November 20th. I like this guy. This Twitter account's great because he always says like on this day in wrestling history, this, etc. Like he has interesting factoids. I'm going to pull up the tweet here. Hold on one sec.
Oh, I see it.
So I can read it. Unless you want to read it, Red.
I'll read it off.
Read it off.
On this day in 1994, All Japan Women ran the Tokyo Dome, drawing 32,500 fans for the Big Egg Wrestling Universe event. The event generated approximately $4 million in revenue from ticket sales, as well as $1.6 million in merchandise sales. That's pretty cool.
There's a lot of talk on this show, on our show, and many other shows too, I assume, about wrestling and women and people not taking the time to invest in women's wrestling, invest in time. And there's some talk, I've never seen this written anywhere, but I've definitely heard that like maybe TNT doesn't believe in women's wrestling and like that it draws or whatever it might be. But All Japan Women's, this promotion in the 90s in Japan, this isn't the only time that this happened. Like they were constantly generating these huge crowds, these huge houses. And there are women's matches from that time that like Kenny Omega has literally taken move for move from. Like this exists. And this is something that I think is really important to notice. The cliff note of this, I believe Dave Belzer comments on this tweet and says, the only problem with the show is that it was 9.5 hours long. That's a problem. A 9.5 hour wrestling show, long? Something like that. Yeah. Because it was not just All Japan Women's, it was all of the women's promotions from all over Japan coming together for a super show. So everyone needed to be featured and no one was going to like no one was taking my time away. So it ended up being like a 9.5 hour show.
That's terrible. I was just talking to Chica Marks about this when we were at PWG. Thank you so much, Chica Marks, for having me come with you to PWG. I was saying how one of my biggest pet peeves is a wrestling show that goes over 3 hours. If it goes over 3 hours, I am dying.
Yeah.
And so having it be 9 hours, it seems like a slow, painful death. 2 hours.
How long was PWG?
Short, a good, like 10 matches. Maybe less than that, but like ran real fast. Everything was good. I really liked the flow. That definitely didn't feel too long. It might have been just under 3 hours.
Okay.
It might have been just under, which was fine for me.
That's perfect. Yeah.
But excellent. And we have another tweet. Right,
one more tweet in the honor of the holidays. This is from Lee Moriarty. I saw this tweet this week, and I related, I understood, I appreciated. And this is going to be Lee's.
You condoned.
Tam, if you want to go to the second tweet. Tweet 2.
Yeah, and I think it was Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, I think, debuted that night. CM Punk might have already been there.
Kurt Angle, he fought Just Incredible in that match, in his first match, and he just got fucking crushed. Like, Just Incredible got crushed.
I forget exactly who debuted that night, but it was pretty exciting. Here it is. So we got Lee Moriarty.
So this tweet, he says, first time in 7 years I don't have to work retail on this holiday, which was yesterday, Black Friday, thanks to wrestling. If you are going into work, I hope it's an easy payday. And if all of y'all are going into work later today or had to work yesterday, I also hope it was an easy payday.
Let's hope they're easy paydays.
You and I both are very familiar with the grind of that holiday weekend.
Working on a toy store? Sure.
Look
we worked at a very busy local toy store during the holidays. And we went to those Black Friday deals. We had deals, 15% off. The only discount you'll ever get. Everyone shop at Tons of Toys.
In New Jersey. Shop out there.
North Jersey. They were just featured on Fox News.
Were they really?
Yeah, Ken was on there about the supply chain for toys. It's difficult. Toys are getting hit hard. Get your toys now.
Get your toys now. At Tons of Toys in Madison or Wyckoff or that other one that they've got.
Chatham's gone.
Chatham's gone. Yeah. But so I thought this tweet was important to end on. I hope everyone had a good holiday. I hope no one had to work. Yeah. And I think it's really cool that like now more than ever, it seems like a lot of wrestlers are making a living wrestling and they're happy to be doing it and they're well taken care of, at least better than they had been in the past. At least if you're not working for the WWE, who knows? I don't know.
Bless all you wrestlers out there that are still trying to make it. But we believe in you. We believe in you and you're almost there. Joe writes, it's the same argument about women-centric cartoons back in the day. Girls don't buy action figures and boys don't want a girl's toy. It's true. We were talking about the thought behind the stereotypes and the bigotry. Joe writes, oh no, on Fox News, never good. There was a talk about the supply chain, but we got to get out of here. We all had such a fun time, and we have to let Lee Moriarty's goodwill end the show, not talking about Tons of Toys. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're updating.
I'm always throwing stuff out, weird stuff on that Twitter. Stuff out there. And my latest tweet, Gilbert is greater than Goldberg. Just saying. Let's talk about it.
Oh, Jesus. That's a piece of work. Thank you all so much for joining. Please also listen to the podcast. If you can't catch the show, listen to it. Just share it with your friends. Share with your friends. We were told that our wrestling show is good energy compared to other wrestling shows because we're positive. Yeah. We're generally positive.
We're having a good time. If we don't like it,
no, because we need people to know. Yeah. Let them know.
We generally have the stance of if we don't like it, we're just not going to talk about it. We don't.
No, we'll talk.
We don't subscribe. Yeah. I mean, like if it's on a show, but like just because people like Raw doesn't mean we're going to talk about Raw. Who cares?
That's true. It's true. We're not going to talk about dumb stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great one. My name is Red. I'm here with Roy and Tam. Thank you so much, Tam. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Shop at some local stores.
Yeah, shop at some local stores.
Don't feel the need to buy though. Yeah. Capitalism is not good.
Not good.
We're in the late stages of it. It's a problem. Yeah. We'll give a countdown for poor Tam. We're going to do 10. No, 5.
Just do
5, 4, 3.
I don't even know if we need to be doing a countdown, but hey, see ya. Olay. Olay. Olay.
Ole. Ole. Ole.